Hello friend, welcome back. From this video, I want to start to work for how can set up that two-factor authentication. That means now I want to do when you put appropriate email address and appropriate password, and after that password when you click it as a login, then system will be send one of the different type of token code, and that is the code that should be redirected to your email. Okay, so in particular that user email area that will be redirected. That means that will be sent one of the email, and then when you put that appropriate code, then you can able to access that our dashboard. So how you can set up that two-factor authentication, now step by step everything will be very clear to you. For doing this, first of all, we have to go to that our project, and now better on to close everything. Right now we don't need it. That is our web.php, which is fine. And now I want to go to that first of all in our that is the login page. Okay, so into the login page area here, I have already discussed about that things with you. That is in our view. Okay, better I want to take it a bit here. That will be the view in our auth, and that is our login blade. So into the login blade, before I have already used one of the default route, and this route I name it as a login. So login actually provided from to this bridge and default one. So before I have actually used it like that way. So now here I want to use one of the custom route for that our two-factor authentication. So if you want to do this work, I want to name it one of the new route. Okay, in our login page, that is a route name. I name it as a admin and the login. Now this type of one of the route I want to create, because that is our custom one. There is a default only bridge actually provided that our login. Now I want to create this route. If you go to that our web.php, and into this web.php, like in our admin controller, I want to create it. Better I copy it, and now here after that I paste it. So now into this area, I want to name it as admin login. I copy it. Now our route name will be as admin logged in. Our URL will be as admin/login, and also I want to create another new method that will be like as admin and then the login. Now that is the admin login method I want to create it in our admin controller. So now if you want to create this in our admin controller, I want to first of all open it that I have already created in our controller folder, and that is our admin controller. So into this admin controller area, first of all, I want to create on the new function that will be as a public, and then that is our function. Function name will be as a admin login. Okay, here I want to simply created this function method, and that is the method I want to better make it as a AND method. And now we have to also set up that our email. So if you want to set up this email, in that case we have to do better. I want to go back to that our console log. That means here in our terminal, into this terminal I want to make it as a clear. So that will be as a clear. And now we have to create one of the email setup. So here I want to create another new email. Laravel also provided that email services. That will be the command as a PHP artisan make email. And now I want to create another new email by the name as a verification code email. Whatever the name actually you choose, but right now I want to use it this type of the name as a verification code mail. So now when you click is enter, that will be actually created one of the mail folder in your app. I show you now. If you click it as enter, now that should be created. You can see there is a mailable is created in our which place in our app. It's now created one of the new folder as a mail, and into this mail it's created one of the name that I have already used it as a verification and code mail.php. And now if you go here into this our app, and you can see that is created one of the mail, and this mail name as a verification code mail, because now we have to dealing with the mail, and throughout this function here that will be executed. Okay, so now first of all I want to go back to that our admin controller. And now that is the things I have actually passed which data. Like here, that is our login, and into this login they have already CSRF token, and they have the two field. One is the input field, we pass it by the name as email, and also I have passed another one input field data by the name as a password. Right, so both of these we can able to get it throughout that our route by the form to the request. So now I want to simply first of all get that our request data. So that will be as a request. That will be as a request, and then that will be as a dollar, and then the request. because that is also one of the which method, that will be one of the post method. So now in our web.php, make that sure that will be as a post method. Okay, here I want to update it. That will be as a post method, as a admin logging. Now admin controller, we are working into this our admin logging method. So now that is our admin logging method. So when that will be as a post method, we can able to access that our request and then the dollar request. So first of all, I want to put some of the credentials. So I take one of the variable as a credential. I name it as a credentials, and this credential will be our, that is the request, and that is the request area. Here I want to make it as a only. That will be the only, and only will be here. Which one only will be? We will get two data. One, as I told you, they have the two field data. One is the email, another is the email, and also another one as a password. Now I want to take it. I make it as an email, and then I want to take it another one as a password. Okay, so I simply take it as a password. Great. And now after that, I want to put another if condition. So that will be as a if condition, and into this condition area, first of all, I want to access our authenticated user data. So authenticated user data, if I want to access it, before I have already loaded that our auth. So this auth actually provided from to the Laravel default one of the middleware. Now I want to use that our auth. So here throughout this auth, that have also another function as a attempt function. I want to call it attempt, attempt, and into this attempt area here, I want to pass it throughout that our two of this name is the email and password, which I have taken into this our credential. So that is the credentials I want to pass it. Great. So now here after that, I want to simply access that our user, which user is logging. So this user data. So I take one of the variable, I just name it as a user, and this user data we can able to access it, which user is logging. That means our authenticated user data. So that will be as authenticated user data, which user is logging, and this user data I simply take it. So if you want to access that our authenticated user data, here actually that will be comes from to this our model as a user model. So here also we have to support it, we have to use it as a use, and that will be as a app / the models. models. Okay, that will be the models, and into this models folder, that is our name, model name as a user model. So make that sure here you have to load it. That is our app models, and then the user models, which I have already created. That is a models and user models. Okay, by default that is actually created now, which is fine. Make that sure here you have to support it. Now throughout this we can able to access that our authenticated user data. Okay. Great. And after that, I want to generate some of the verification code, right? So here, how can create that verification code? In that case, I take another variable. I name it as a verification. Okay, verification and verification code. And then there is also another method as a random list. Okay, that will be as a random init. So there is on the random init method, and here that will be randomizedly, that will be actually generated some of the different type of code. So code will be for like that will be as a 1, and then the 5 0 1 2 3 4 5, and 2 that are 6 9 1 2 3. Sorry, that will be as a 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so now throughout this range, that will be actually generated or randomized different type of verification code. Great. And now after that, here I want to access that our session data. So I want to access that our like as a session, and this session area here I want to put it by the name, like here I want to put it by the name as a verification code. Okay, verification underscore code. Okay, that will be the verification code, and this verification code will be, and that is the randomized code I have actually generated. So that is actually our verification code. Here I want to pass it, and here that will be also access that our user ID. So I want to access that our user underscore ID, and this user ID will be which one? This user ID will be our, that is the authenticated user data I have already taken it. That means which user is logging. This user ID is that our user ID. Okay, here I simply take two of these things in here, and that will be our verification code by the name I wanted them to pass it. So now that is the data we have to send it. Okay, we have to send it in our which place. We have to send it in our, that is the verification code mail I have generated. Here we have to pass it. So for doing this, I want to simply call that another mail function that will be as a mail. Okay, that is a mail. And here when you access this mail, also you have to import it. So first of all, I want to import, like that will be the use, and from to the same place actually as the illuminate, and then the support facets. From here we can able to access that our mail. Laravel actually provided this one, so that will be the mail. I want to support it, and also I want to support that that is a mail verification code I have created. Here I want to also use it, so that is in our app / into this app area, that is a mail folder, and into this mail folder area I have created by the name as a verification code mail. That means here if you go, better you copy it. Now that is in our app and the mail and verification code, right? So here I want to access it, that is our verification code. So I also supported that our verification code mail that I have created in our mail folder, and that is our by default Laravel provided the mail services, that is the mail. Okay, here I want to simply support both of these. So now throughout this mail, here I want to use it, and throughout this mail I want to pass it to our which user is logging this user mail area. We have to pass it, right? So that is the reasons I have already get that our authenticated user data, that is actually our user, and that will be sent to that our which user is logging this user email. Okay, this user email area here, that should be sent, and then that will be another method as a send method, and that will be the send method. I want to call it. Send will be which one? Send will be our, that is a new, and verification, that means verification. Verification means here actually that will be our, that is the verification code mail which I have already created, loaded, and now that is the verification code mail area. Here I want to pass it. I want to pass that our which data. I want to pass that our, that is the verification code that is actually randomizedly created. This data I want to simply pass it in here. Okay, that means in our mail area that will be send this our verification, that is the code. Here I simply pass it. Great. And after that, when that will be successfully sent, authenticated which user is logging. So the which user is logging, this authenticated user will be log out. So I make it as a logout method. So this logout is also default created when I install that Laravel Breeze, because Breeze also provided that logout functionality before I have already done this job. You can see that is our authenticated user. I call that our logout method. So this logout method actually default created by the Breeze. So here when you run that our PHP Artisan route list, I have already discussed about that things with you, how many default route there have. So now authenticated user, that will be as a logout. Great. And now after that, here in which place that will be redirected. Here also you have to allocate it. So I want to simply allocate, then that will be return. Return will be as a redirect. Okay, I name it as a redirect. That will be redirect to one of the route. Okay, one of the route area. I want to pass it like which route. Here I name it as a custom. That will be the custom, and verification. Okay, verification form. This type of one of the route area I want to pass it with some of the notification message. So I name it as a with I want to pass it. I want to pass it by the name as a status, and status will be which one? Status will be, I want to pass it like as a verification code sent to your mail. This type of one of the message, then that should be displayed. So that's all you have to do. And else, that is our if condition is started, if condition is ended, and else, okay, here I want to pass it, else that will be return our redirect to the same page, that means our back page. I make it as a redirect, that will be redirect to our back page. That will be the back, and back will be, I want to pass it with some of the error data. So that will be also default function as an error function. Here I want to call it, and in here I want to pass it our email. Okay, that will be field name as an email, and email will be display, and here that will be display one of the invalid credential provided. So this type of one of the things that will be display invalid credential provided. provided. Now this type of one of the message, then that should be displayed. I hope friend every concept is very clear to you. When I run it, everything will be more clear to you. So now we have to work two things. We have to create this route as a custom verification form. This type of one of the route we have to create. And also here I have already passed that our verification code in our verification code mail. That means here we have to work. So better I want to continue this process. In our next video, I will execute our two of this part. So thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we are working in our admin logging. Here I have successfully done everything for this method. Now two things will be important. One, we have to create that our custom verification form, one of the route, and also that is our verify code status. And this code status I pass it in our mail as a verification code mail, and that is our verification code. So now first of all, I want to receive this code in our verification code mail that I have created in our mail and verification code mail, right? So in particular that position, first of all, we have to simply take it. So I want to take it by the name as a public. I define another public variable. I just name it as a code. Okay, whatever name actually you choose, now I name it as a code. And this code means which one? This code means here I have already passed it one of the randomized verification code. Okay, so that will be generated one of the code, and that is the code. I simply receive it by the name as a code. Great. Now after that, here that is one of the constructor function, and into this constructor function area here I want to receive, that means I want to access this code. Here if you want to access it, that we have to access it throughout that as a this. Sorry, that will be as a $sign and then this, and this with this, that will be our code, and this code will be which one? This code will be our, that is the code I have make it as a public in here, that is our code. Great. And then that will be another function as envelope, and into this envelope area here by default that is a name as a subject name. What type of subject you want to actually assign? You can set your email subject, so that will be your email subject. So I want to use it as a your logging verification code. This type of one of the message, that will be our email subject. And then I want to do, that is our content part area. Here we have to pass it two things. We have to pass one of the view page, that means where exactly this email that should be displayed. Okay, email one of the template page, we have to simply pass that our view. So our view will be like, I want to do in our view folder, and that means here if you go, that is a clear view folder, and into this view folder area here I will create one of the new folder. Okay, I name it as email, and into this email folder area I want to create another new page by the name as a verification. Okay, I name it as a verification underscore code. Now this type of one of the page I will create, and also here I want to pass with our which things, that means that is actually our code. This code I have already generated, so this code I want to pass it, right? So here if you want to pass that our code, that will be as a with will be by the name as a code. I pass it by the name as a code, and code will be which one? That is I have already received it from our method as a this code, and this code I simply receive it in here. Okay, that means here I pass it to that our email and verification code. Here I want to pass it with this name as a code. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Now better I want to create this file. That means that is our email folder. I want to go to our view. Into the view folder, I want to create on the new folder as an email, and into this email folder I want to create on the new file that will be as a verification code. I name it as a verification code and blade.php. that will be actually one of the view blade file. Okay, so here whatever the name actually you choose, right now I name it as a verification code. So now here I want to create one of the HTML template. So here I want to use it as a doc, and doc if you click it, then that is our HTML head. They have some of the head, they have some of the meta tag, they have some of the title, right? So title I want to use it like as a verification, and that will be the verification code page. Okay, that will be the verification code page, and into this body area here you can actually create interactive some of the template, HTML template for the mail. You can actually create it, but right now for education purpose I want to make it as a clear. I want to make it as a, that should be displayed as a hello, and after that hello that will be a display like as a your logging verification code is this type of one of the things, and here that will be actually display our strong code. I want to use it as a strong. That is a strong is started, strong is ended, and in here I want to show that our code will be which one? Code will be here. I have already passed it with the code by the name as a code, right? Here, whatever the generated code that will be generated, and this code is which one? This code I have get it from to our code, and this code means here from to this our admin controller, it should be generated this one, our verification randomized code, right? So step by step all that process, and in here I want to do the access our that is the code. Okay. I hope friend the concept is very clear to you. Now that should be display your verification code, and now after that will be display another message as a please enter this code to complete your logging. Now this type of the message that should be display. I hope the concept is very clear to you. So now that will be actually loaded in your mail. That means in our mail area here, actually that will be generated one of the mail, and this mail area that should be display. When I run it, everything will be more clear now, which is fine. Our verification mail setup is totally done. And now I want to go back to that our page as a admin controller, and into this admin controller now our next job will be we have to create our that is the route as a custom verification form route, right? So now I copy it. I want to go back to that our web.php, and in here after that I want to create it. Better I copy it. Okay, copy it, and now after that I paste it. So that is the name. I name it here. If you go, I name it as a custom verification form. Better I copy it, and now in our web.php here our name will be as a custom verification form. Okay, and then I want to use it by the name here as a slash. That will be one of the get method. I name it as a get method, and here that will be as a verify. Okay, verify, this type of one of the name. And in our admin controller I want to create another new method that will be as a show a verification. Okay, this type of one of the new method I want to create. And throughout this, that will be do when you put in a appropriate email address and password, then that should be sent one of the email in your mail, and then that will be actually redirected to our another page as a verify page. And into this verify page everything will be same, only one input field will be needed, right? So here I want to do in particular this method as a show verification. I copy it. Now I want to go to that our admin controller, in our admin controller, and into this admin controller area here after that. Okay, here after that I want to create this method that will be as a public, and that will be as a function, and I name that our function name will be as a show verification. Here only I want to return one of the view page. So better I want to take it, that will be as an AND method. Here that will be only return one of the view page, and view page means here I want to do in our which place, like here into this our auth. Okay, that means in our auth folder I want to better create another new file. So into this auth I want to create another new file as a verify. Okay, this type of one of the new page now we have to create. So better I want to create it in our auth folder. Into this auth folder now I want to create another new file. I just name it as a verify. That will be as a .blade.php. Okay, here I successfully created. Right now verification mail that will be not needed, code also that will be not needed, logging. So now that is actually a verification code. Here I want to copy everything from our logging blade. Okay, from to the logging, that will be the same template. I will actually load it in here. So better I copy everything from to this our logging blade, and now in our verification code, that means verify our blade page that I have created, here I simply paste it, because our layout will be just like that same. Here I want to simply load it, and then here I want to do that is actually our form. I want to better update it. Like first of all that will be our title. I want to change it. That will be as a verification page. Okay, verification page. Okay, name it as a verification page. Layout will be the same, and that is actually everything will be same. Only in our form, into this form area, now we need only one field. Okay, here I don't need this type of things. Here I want to do, if there have any session error, that will be display this error, which is fine. Only one field will be needed. I want to simply remove that our password field. Here I want to simply remove it. only now there is one field, and now that is the field I want to change it. Here I want to change that name, like as a type will be, I want to use it one of the text type, that will be the text type. ID I want to change it by the name as a code, and email I want to use it as a our type, that means our name will be as a code, ID will be as a code, type will be as a text type, and please enter code. Okay, I name it as a please enter your code. That's all. And here for the email, that means for the error will be display our code, and code will be the same our message. Perfect. So now that's fine. And here submit button, that will be as a not logged in. Here I want to use it like as a verify. Okay, verify this type of one of the button name that should be display in here. And rest of everything, if you want to change it, you can change it, but right now I think that is totally fine. Okay, so that is actually our main form. Into this form area, now if you notice, that is our form, our button name will be as a verify, and then that is one of the input field, and this input field name, I name it as a code, name will be as a code. Perfect. And that is our error message. If that have any error message, that should be display this our error message. Fine. Okay, fine. So now that will be another functionality. Whatever the verification code you have now selected, now we have to submit this verification code in here, right? So now we have to work another route. That means in our form area, I want to create another new route, and I just name that route as a custom. Okay, custom and verification, verify. Okay, whatever name actually choose this route. Now we have to create our verify. Now we have to create this type of one of the new route. Okay, that is our custom verification verify. CSRF token is already in here. Now I want to create it. I copy it, and now I want to go back to that our web.php, and now in here I want to simply create it. I copy it, now I paste it, and that will be the name as a custom verification and verify. I copy it, now that will be here as a custom verification and verify. Our route name will be the same, it's totally fine, but method now that should be as a post method, because here I have already updated. Our method will be as a post method, which is fine. And now into this our admin controller, I want to create on the new method as a verification verify. Okay, now this type of one of the new method we have to create this method in our admin controller. I want to go back to that our admin controller, and into this admin controller area here, after that I want to create another new function that will be the public, and then the function, and our name will be as a verification verify, and here I want to get it as a request will be as a $request. And here I want to simply create this function, right? So that is actually our function here. I simply define. Great. Now that is really good. Now we have to work a little bit in our particular this function, and into this function area here we have to check multiple things, like here whatever the code you have actually submitted, this is actually appropriate code is or not, or if there have any issues where exactly that will be redirected. So multiple things I will actually add it in here. I hope you will like it very much. So better I want to continue this process. In our next video I will complete our that is the verification verify method in our admin controller. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we created one of the verify blade, and into this verify blade here, I passed one of the field name by the name as a code, and also we created one of the custom verification verify one of the route, and that is a post method. In our web.php, I have created this route, and in our admin controller, I have created as a verification verify, which is really great. So now that is one of the post method, we successfully able to get it by the name as a request, and from to the request here we can get that our code. So first of all, better I want to use some of the validations. So throughout that request, I want to call one of the validate. Okay, that will be the validate. Okay, this is a type of one of the validate I want to create it, and then here I want to name it as a code, and that means whatever the code I have actually passed it or input field name here I want to make it that will be as a required, and also that would be as a numeric type. Okay, so here I want to use it as a numeric. So both of this here, that will be actually check it with the validation. And then I want to use one of the if condition, and into this condition area, whatever the requested code I have actually passed it by the name as a code, right? So there is a requested code, and into this requested code, when that will be equal our session, and that will be the session, and into the session area, before, I hope you already remember, I have passed our verification code by the name here into the session area. I have set it by the name as a verification code, right? So in our admin logging, I have already created. Now that is the verification code. I want to access it from to this our session. Okay, so here, whatever the requested code, you will pass it from to this our page. That means from to this our verify page. Here, that is the input field, which actually you will receive it in your mail. That will be actually check it. Okay, so whatever the things I have actually set it into this our requested code here, that should be matched with our session verification code. Great. And then here I want to also check that our auth. That means with our auth, I want to access it our logging, another default function as a logging user, okay, using ID. Logging using ID in here into this session area, I want to set it. That will be as a session into the session area. I want to say that our user ID, okay, user underscore ID. That means which user is logging this user ID. I want to set it. And then here after that I want to do, okay, here after that I want to do and simply take that our whatever the session that will be executed with the verification code, that is the data I want to do. I want to receive it for a specific this user ID. That means user ID related data. Here if you go, I have already said two things. One is the session as a verification code, and also here remember I passed that our user ID, and this user ID means which one, which user is logging this user ID, and that user is our authenticated user, right? Now both of this data I want to simply remove it. Okay, here if I want to remove it from to this area, from to this our session, that will be as a session, and into this session area there is also another function as a forget function. Okay, that will be as a forget, and into this forget area I want to use it as our two things. I want to remove that our verification code, and also I want to remove that our user. Okay, that will be the user ID. Here I want to simply remove both of these. So that is our forget two of this. If you want to pass it, we have to pass it in our one of the third bracket. Okay, so into this third bracket area, that is our verification code will be removed and forget, and that will be our user ID. That should be also as a forget. Great. So now friend, that's all you have to do, and then that will be return. I want to use it as a return. Return will be as a redirect. Okay, that will be the direct. That will be the return redirect, and return redirect to our which page, that will be return redirect to our /dashboard. That means after that successfully logged in, when both of these will be matched, that should be able to access it our dashboard page, right? So here if you want to pass it into the dashboard, that will be redirect, and this redirect will be here. I want to pass it throughout that intent function. So that will be the intended. Okay, that is the intended function, and throughout this function that will be return redirect to our dashboard. Sorry, that will be as a dashboard, dashboard, right? Because here if you go to that our web.php, when this user is able to access that our dashboard name, I have already used it. That is actually our /dashboard, right? So that is our dashboard area. I want to simply pass it. Perfect. And rather than that is if condition, rather than here, that will be display as invalid. Okay, so I make it as a return. Rather than that will be as a return. A return will be as a back page. Okay, that will be into the back page, and back page will be with, that will be with errors. With errors, that should be a pass it our name as a code, and code will be as a invalid. Okay, here I want to pass it by the same name. I want to use it as invalid, okay, invalid verification code. Great. So now that's all you have to do in here. Okay friend, I hope the concept and each and everything is very, very clear to you. So now when I run it, everything will be more clear. And also there is a function is started, function is ended, but I want to use it as a AND method. Great. So now that is actually they have some of the success message, they have some of the error message. Now I also want to better show this all the things, then that will be actually easy. Like if you go to that our verified, that is a verified blade. Okay, into this verified blade area here, I want to do I want to simply display it in here. Okay, better after that I want to use one of the if condition. Sorry, I want to use that if condition. That will be the at the rate, and then the if, that is the and if, and that is the session data, right? So I make it as a session. Into the session area, if this session, that is status, if there have any status, then that will be show this message. So I better use some of the dev, and dev area I want to use some of the bootstrap class name as a alert will be as a alert success, will be as a success. Okay, I want to use some of the bootstrap class, and in particular that position that should be display it from to the session. From to the session area, I have already passed it by the name of the status. So that will be display our status. So if there have any success message, then that should be display our success message. Or if there have any error message, that should be also display the error message. So I want to use another if condition. I name it as a errors. Okay, that will be the errors. ERRORS, errors. Okay, if there have any error, so by the call as a any method, I simply call it, then that should be also displayed. Better I want to take another dev, and into this dev area I want to use another class name. Okay, class name, and class will be as a alert will be alert danger. I want to use it, and I will put some of the margin top like as a 3. Okay, margin top I want to use it as a 3, and then here I want to use better on the UL, and into this UL area I want to use that our one of the for each. So that will be the for each loop. I want to call it for each, whatever the errors we will get it. So that is our errors. Okay, that is the errors area. I want to access that our errors, all error. That will be as all error, and this all error I want to assign it by the name as a error. Okay, that will be as a error, and this error that should be display. So in here I want to load another ALI into this ALI area. That should be display. If there have any error, that should be display this error, because multiple error actually pays. I have actually passed it. Now if there have any one by one, that will be display. Okay, great. So now that's all you have to do. Now let's check this out, is actually working or not. Now if you click as a save all, now step by step everything will be very clear to you what exactly the things I have done it. So here I have already updated multiple things in our web.php. Better I want to run it our PHP artisan optimize running our all that caches from to the config, event, route, view, everything is clean. Now I want to go back to that our project, and that is our logging page. I want to refresh it better, and also I want to check it. They have the no email in here, right? So now I want to do, if you put some of the inappropriate email address and password, click as a logging, that should be get that our credential error provided. So that means that is fine. But now that have existing user, like as a user, I want to do logging with the user. That will be the user@gmail.com, and here for this password I have used it as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Now our username is fine, that means email is fine, and password is fine, both of this fine. Now click as a logged in. Let's check this out, what exactly that will be do. Like here when you send it, it's getting one of the error. Okay, in our verification code is getting that our this code as a code. Okay, that means undefined variable as a code. That means here if you go to that our verification code mail, it's not getting that our code. Why? I do understanding to the constructor area I didn't receive it. Okay, that means if you go to that our project again, now I want to go to that our mail, that means that is actually our mail and verification code mail. I have called that our public, but into the constructor area here we have to also receive it. Okay, we have to receive that as a parameter, as a code, and this code means that is actually our this code. Okay, here I simply update. So that is our first issue, we successfully able to solve it. Let's check this out, what type of another error we are facing. Now I want to go back here again, I want to refresh it. Okay, I want to refresh, and you can see I'm already logged in. Okay, I am logged in, and if you go to that our mail, it's totally empty. I want to recheck it again. I click as a log out. Okay, I want to log out. Now I want to refresh it, and now I put inappropriate email address, password, credential working fine. I want to use that as user, and then password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Email is fine, appropriate our password is fine. Now let's check this out. I click as a logged in. Now it's loading. Let's check this out. That should be return redirect to our another page. Yes, you can see now that is fine. It's now return redirect to our /verify, and it show that our message as a verification code sent to your mail. And this verification page is which one? I hope you remember. Here into this our verification code, I have already assigned in our, if you go to our admin controller, in here I have already created, when everything is fine, that will be send it as a custom verification form, right? And custom verification form means here if you go, that is our custom verification form, that is in our admin controller. I created another method as a show verification. That means in our admin controller, and show verification means in our auth, and that is our verify page. Right, so that is the verify page means in our auth, and that is our verify page. Here I have already showed that our success message, and that is our success message is visible as a verification code is sent to your mail, right? And that is the mail data I have actually passed it from here, and that is actually our message as a verification code as sent to your mail. I pass that by the name as a status, and that is the verification status. I use it from to the session as a status. Great. Now I want to check it here. That should be loaded that our input field. I simply loaded that input field, only one input field as a enter your code. You can see I didn't update that our email address, but I want to check it our mail is received or not. Yes, you can see I have also received that our mail, and if you open it, perfect. It's getting that your logging verification code. Your logging verification code means here if you go better, I want to change it first in our auth verify. Here I want to name it, that will be as a verification code. Okay, verification code. That will be actually input, not that input field. That will be the verification code. Okay, I name it as a verification code. Great. So here make that sure you update it. So now that is actually our input field level name. Here I successfully update. Now fine. And now if you go to that our which page, here I have already taken it, that is our verification mail, and into this verification mail, as I told you, our mail subject, you can see that is actually our subject as your logging verification code, and that is if you check it, you can see our mail subject as your verification code, and a specific which user is logging, this user related everything here I send it. And that is actually one of the page is loading, right? So this page is which one? This page I have already created as an email, and that is our verification code. That means in our view, into this view area, that is our mail, and that is our verification code. Here I simply created on the HTML, and here I pass that our code. And now that is the code is visible, and our template, you can see very clean one of the templates. So as I told you here, if you want to load different type of attractive template, you can actually take it. Okay, but right now that is totally fine. Now that is our logging verification code as this one. So now I want to copy it. Okay, here I copy it, and now if you go to that our verification, that is a verify page, here I want to simply paste it. That is our verification code. Now if you make it as a verify, yes, now you are successfully able to log in, and you can able to access that our dashboard. Great job. Right now I want to check it again, click as a logout. Again I want to log in with our another user, like another user as aryan@gmail.com. I copy it. Now I want to put it as aryan@gmail.com password. I have used it as Udemy 12345. Now I want to log in. Again that should be get that our verified. Okay, here click it, perfect. There is a verification code is submitted, and that is our input field I have updated as a verification code. Now that is the verification code is visible. Okay, that means here I have already updated that our verification code, which is fine. Now if you go to that email, now that should be another one for the which user as a admin@gmail.com. It because of all here I have also done these things from here. That should be get that our which area, which user is logging, this user mail area that will be send this email. And that is the reasons it's now successfully get it our Aryan. Right now I'm logging with the Aryan. It's now created another different type of code, verification code I copied. Now if you go, if you put inappropriate some of the verification code in here, now click as a verify, that will be also display as invalid verification code, which I have already done it in our in our admin controller. Into this admin controller, that is our verification verify. Here, when that will be as a not match, that should be displayed as invalid verification code, and that is the message is visible in here. And also here in our input field area, that is display our invalid verification code. Because of all here, I have also done it. I have also done it in our verification code. In particular, that positions, that is actually our input field error message for the code. That is the error message is visible. Right. That means everything is fine. Now if you put that our appropriate code for this one, I copy it. Now if you paste it, now click as this verify, submitted successful. Now you are successfully able to access that our dashboard. How to set up the two-factor authentication in Laravel. I hope friend, everything is very clear to you. Okay, so that is the very simple process here. Throughout this, you can actually do this job. How to send some of the email in Laravel 12. Now I hope the concept is also very clear to you, right? So that is our code, step-by-step process. So if you have you are the beginner, so here you have to actually think about it. Very clean code, and also I have tried to explain everything very clearly. So you have to think about it, you have to practice it, then every functionality, I hope that should be very clear. How I have completed that two-factor authentication in Laravel. Okay, so here you have to just think about it, you have to just practice it. Very interactively, we successfully done this job. Great. Now friend, from to the next video, I want to work for another essential things, like that is which user is logging. This user can able to update their account information. He can able to change their password functionality. He can change their own profile. Everything that is very essential things, but very important. From to the next video, step by step, I will show you everything with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.